Welcome to a country that seems both familiar and mysterious at the same time, Kazakhstan. At first glance, it appears to be endless steppes and nomadic traditions, but behind this simple facade lies centuries of history, unique monuments, and a rapid pace of modernity. Why does this country, often perceived as a simple, warm place, simultaneously hold the secrets of the Bronze Age and build cities of the future? How does the combination of the high mountains of the Tian Shan, salt lakes, and ultra-modern skyscrapers change its face? And what is Kazakhstan truly, an ancient land with a rich heritage, or a dynamic metropolis striving towards a technological future? In this video, we won't just skim through the attractions. We will uncover the hidden layered mysteries that make Kazakhstan a truly unique country. Are you ready to see its true face behind the facade of traditions and progress? Then don't switch off. Ahead of us lies a discovery that will change your perception of Central Asia. In the distant heart of Eurasia lies a country that, despite its relatively recent youth, holds the secrets of centuries, legends, and trials, evidence of its rich history and cultural heritage. Kazakhstan is not just a land of steppes, not only endless horizons where nomads roamed for centuries, seeking refuge under the sky's canopy. It is a country where the past and present are woven into a complex fabric, rich with symbols, traditions, and the challenges of modernity. Let's start with the fact that Kazakhstan is often perceived as a country where endless steppes reign, where nomads are the heroes of ancient legends, and traditions are an integral part of the people's life and soul. This picture, bright and picturesque, undoubtedly reflects one facet of its essence. However, this stereotypical representation is just the tip of the iceberg. Deep in history, going back to the Bronze Age, lie the evidence of developed civilizations, ancient cities and cult centers that have shaped the cultural landscape of this land for centuries. The stories preserved in archaeological excavations tell us that life was bustling here 1,000 years ago. Where modern cities now stretch, trade routes once connected the East and West, and ancient tribes created unique cultures that absorbed the diversity of civilizations. These pieces of evidence remind us, Kazakhstan is not only about steppes and nomadism, it is a place where the destinies of peoples have intertwined for centuries, where history has left its marks in stone, ceramics, and legends. Let's move to modern times. In 1997, when the country gained independence, Kazakhs faced the challenge of building their future on a rich heritage base, but with an orientation towards new horizons. At the center of this grand project is the capital, which appeared as if from nowhere, like an architectural miracle created by the will and design of the elite. Nur-Sultan, now called Astana, a city that was erected from scratch, out of nowhere. Its construction is a symbol of audacity and determination, a testament that even in the heart of the steppes, a modern metropolis can emerge, capable of competing with global centers. The art of architecture here is not just about building structures. It is an attempt to immortalize national identity while simultaneously showcasing progress to the world. Majestic towers and futuristic complexes, designed by renowned architects like Norman Foster, Kisho Kurokawa, and others, create a unique ensemble where every line, every glass facade speaks of the country's desire not just to keep pace with the times, but to set new standards. Here, among the glass and steel, one can feel the pulse of modern Kazakhstan, a country unafraid to experiment, seeking its identity in the blend of tradition and technology. Yet behind this vibrant facade lie deep-rooted traditions. Kazakhstan is a country where Kumis and the Kazakh national wrestling, KYZK, are still alive, where live music is played at celebrations and rituals are passed down from generation to generation. These traditions are not mere relics of the past, but a living organism that nourishes the national soul. They are linked with historical monuments, archaeological finds, and evidence of ancient civilizations, which, against the backdrop of modern buildings and streets, seem like silent guardians of time. Understanding Kazakh identity is an attempt to comprehend how these two realities interact. Why, despite the richness of historical heritage and living traditions, does the country rapidly move towards a technological future? Why do skyscrapers appear in cities, while ancient burial mounds lie deep in the steppes? What is this internal struggle between preserving traditions and the desire to become part of global progress? What hidden treasures lie beneath modern facades? What secrets are concealed in monuments, archaeological finds, and legends that still live in the hearts of Kazakhs? The answer to this question is the key to understanding not only the country but also its soul. Kazakhstan is not just a geographical point on the map. It is a cultural and spiritual bridge between antiquity and the future. It is a place where history preserves evidence of its centuries-old trials and triumphs, where traditions remain alive despite the rapid development of cities and technologies. A country that, despite its young age, has already witnessed great changes and is ready for new challenges. And so we approach the final chord of this journey. Before us unfolds not just a country with a rich heritage or a modern metropolis. Before us is the true face of Kazakhstan, its dual nature, its contradictions and harmony. This is an ancient land with a rich heritage that permeates everything, from stone burial mounds to modern skyscrapers. It is a country where traditions and innovations go hand in hand, creating a unique image in which history and the future are intertwined forever. Will we uncover the true face of Kazakhstan, an ancient temple shrouded in the mist of legends? Or will we see a modern metropolis reaching for the stars? Perhaps both. Maybe their strength lies in their ability to maintain balance, in their skill to listen to the voice of their ancestors while looking forward. A country that does not choose between the past and the future, but weaves them into the fabric of its destiny. And so, on the edge between eras, we stand before Kazakhstan, a country that never ceases to amaze, that holds its secrets and opens new horizons. This is a place where time seems to slow down, allowing us to understand. The present is merely a continuation of a centuries-old history, and the future is just a new chapter being written by people eager to preserve their heritage and reach for the stars. The grandeur of Kazakhstan's nature is not just a map or a set of facts. It is a living, pulsating history unfolding across the vast expanses of a huge country, where each zone, each landscape wonder, is a testament to centuries of change, struggle, and harmony between nature and humans. To look at Kazakhstan is to delve into its heart, to feel the breath of winds carrying the scents of the steppe and mountains, to feel the chill of mountain peaks and the warmth of endless plains, to hear the whisper of legends hidden among rocks and lakes. The country, stretching from east to west for more than 3,000 kilometers, like a giant living organism, sprawls across the land that holds evidence of an era when the wind shaped its landscapes, and the human hand merely complemented its ancient patterns. Majestic, and at the same time fragile, this land is one of the largest countries in the world by area, and each part of it is a unique world filled with contradictions and harmony. Here, the harsh restraint of the cold northern forest steppes blends with the soft, warm palette of the southern deserts and mountains. In the north of Kazakhstan, endless forest steppes spread out like a soft blanket, covering ancient traces of an era when nature knew no boundaries. Here, winds roam the grassy expanses, filling the air with the scent of dried grass, and the freshness is pierced by the light smoke rising from villages and towns. In these latitudes, forests prevail, where pines and birches reach for the sky, and the steppes are not just endless plains but a stage where the fates of nomads, full of mysteries and legends, unfolded. In these lands, history holds evidence of people who grazed across the expanses for centuries and those who battled harsh winters and relentless winds. Moving south, we seem to enter another dimension. High mountain ranges, covered with eternal ice and snow caps, rise above deserts and oases. And here, among these giants, the Tian Shan with peaks reaching over 7,000 meters. Nature demonstrates its power and unpredictability. The grandeur of these mountains is not only a challenge for climbers and explorers, it is evidence of how the earth can rise to the sky, shaping not only the terrain, but also the destinies of peoples. The peaks, covered with eternal snow, hold the secrets of ancient glaciers, and their warm, sometimes almost rebellious wind is the voice of history whispering among the rocks. Between these zones lies the Balkhash Valley, a unique lake, like a mirror reflecting the sky and adding contrast to the landscape. Half of it is fresh, and half is salty, like two worlds divided by a thin line. Stretching for 600 kilometers, it is a source of life, water for millions. It is a testament to how nature can create something extraordinary, as if playing with the laws, and how humans learn to live in harmony with this wonder. In this lake, surrounded by steppes and mountains, life still thrives today. Fish, birds, people seeking answers to their questions in its waters. Another monument of natural beauty is the Charon Canyon, like a giant split dragon's tooth, with walls reaching hundreds of meters in height. Its rock formations are not just stone, but evidence of geological epochs, a story of how the earth changed, how winds and waters shaped new forms. Inside the canyon is a lost world, where silence is broken only by the echo of footsteps, and the air is filled with the scent of wet stones and dry grass. Here you feel the breath of history, ancient, eternal, unceasing. Or the Valley of Castles, a fantastic ensemble of rock formations, like fragments of ancient castles scattered across the expanses. These rocks are witnesses to legends and myths. They hold the memory of people who lived and fought here, of nomads who took shelter in their shadows, of shamans who believed in the power of nature. Every shape, every crack is a manuscript of time that can be read if you listen to the winds and look closely. But the question arises, how, with all its contrasts, from icy peaks to hot deserts, does Kazakhstan manage to maintain balance? How does it combine such wild, sometimes even conflicting natural zones? How to explain that in this vast space, high mountains and lifeless sands coexist, that one day, the wind carrying sand and ice suddenly changes to the quiet whisper of grass? These contrasts are not just geographical facts. They are evidence of nature's unique ability to create contrasts that seem to contradict each other but together form a single living system. And it is in this system that the main secret lies. Kazakh land is not just a landscape. It is a living organism where each zone plays its role. The steppes nourish livestock farming. The mountains are a source of water and minerals. The lakes are ecosystems rich with life, and the deserts are a reminder of the power of survival and adaptation. Each natural zone is like a mirror of culture, like the memory of a people who have learned for centuries to live and fight the challenges of this land. And what secret lies behind this natural palette? What does Kazakh nature tell us about itself and the people who live on it? Perhaps its mystery is that it teaches us to be resilient, to find harmony in contradictions, to respect the strength and beauty of each element. This is the essence. Nature is not just the world around us, it is a mirror of the soul, a story that holds evidence of how humans and the land can coexist, creating something greater than the sum of their parts. So when we look at these landscapes, we are not just seeing a map. We are listening to a tale of time, of struggle and alliance, of mysteries held in the depths of the earth and waters. Kazakhstan is not just a country. It is a chronicle of nature's power, its contradictions and beauty, its endless secrets. And every corner of it is a challenge for those who seek truth in the grandeur of the world. What secrets do these expanses hide? And how do they shape the destiny of the people living among such contrasts? The answers lie in the heart of this land, in its stones and winds, in its ancient legends and modern breath. To understand Kazakhstan, one must not only look, but also listen, because it is in the silence, in the breath of the wind and the rustle of rocks, that its most important stories are hidden. In the heart of Central Asia, in the boundless steppes and mountain peaks, evidence of eras has been preserved, when the gold of the sun and the shadows of ancient legends intertwined into a single fabric of history. Each stone stele, each rock painting, each man-made temple These are not just monuments of the past. They are living witnesses, keepers of the spiritual memory of a people who have fought for centuries for their identity, for the right to be called Kazakh. And in these symbols lie the keys to understanding the true face of a culture that has endured through the ages without losing its soulful depth. Let's start with the Mausoleum of Khoja Ahmed Yasawi, this architectural masterpiece recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The majestic structure rising above the city of Turkestan is not just a tomb, but a spiritual center, a symbol of the religious and cultural identity of the Kazakh people. Its minarets and domes are witnesses to eras when ideas of unity, morality, and spirituality were born on these lands. Inside, among the marble walls and carved wooden panels, echoes of centuries, the voice of prayer and hope can be heard. This is a place where history holds evidence of how faith and culture intertwined, forming the unique identity of a people. But what is hidden behind its walls? What secrets does each ancient mosaic hold, each image, each word carved in stone? What legends live in the shadows of its minarets and walls? Moving on to Tamgali, ancient rock carvings whose evidence dates back to the Bronze Age. On rocks, weathered and covered with moss, scenes of hunting, rituals, and mythical creatures seem to be captured. These images are not just images but the languages of ancient people, telling of their beliefs, fears, and dreams. Who were they? What role did these drawings play in their lives? Analysis shows that these images are the key to understanding how the region's primitive inhabitants perceived the surrounding world, which gods and spirits they revered, and what legends they passed down from generation to generation. Each line, each stroke, is a part of ancient history that still whispers its secrets to those who know how to listen. At the center of this cultural labyrinth is the Zenkov Cathedral in Almaty, one of the few wooden structures that survived the devastating earthquake of the early last century. Its wooden beams, carved ornaments, and delicate craftsmanship are testaments to the skill of Kazakh artisans and their determination to preserve traditions during a destructive period. The cathedral is not only an architectural marvel, but also a symbol of resilience. Evidence that even after a catastrophe, a people can revive, maintain their faith and cultural identity. Inside, in the silence and tranquility, echoes the memory of those who built and restored it, of generations who passed down their knowledge and faith through the ages. The archaeological complex Golden Man is not just a find, but a true treasure, revealing the richness of ancient Kazakh culture. The bronze costume, dating back to the 5th century BC, is evidence of the high craftsmanship of ancient blacksmiths and jewelers. This man, buried with riches and weapons, is not just an archaeological find, but a symbol of ancient wealth, strength, and spiritual identity. His figure speaks of how the Kazakh people have long valued their craftsmanship, cherished wealth, and were ready to defend their culture even in the most challenging times. What secrets are hidden in his adornments? What legends were passed down about those who wore this costume? The story of this man is a tale of the struggle for freedom, for identity, for the right to preserve one's culture against all odds. The Tian Shan Mountains, these great peaks reaching for the sky, hold their own secrets. On their slopes are ancient petroglyphs carved in stone, evidence of the lives of the region's first settlers. These images tell of the first people, their rituals, how they perceived nature, and how they fought for survival in harsh conditions. Analysis shows that these petroglyphs are not just drawings, but a dialogue between man and the gods, a reminder that the connection with nature and spirituality is a crucial part of Kazakh culture. What lies behind these ancient images? What knowledge was passed down from generation to generation? What myths and legends do they hold? These questions remain open, like riddles waiting to be solved. So, what truth lies behind all these monuments and finds? What ancient evidence helps us understand the true face of Kazakh history and culture? What makes them unique, and what makes them unparalleled? Analysis shows that each place, each image, is part of a larger mosaic that forms the identity of a people. But behind this mosaic are not only facts and monuments. They contain spiritual ideas, values, traditions that have been passed down orally from generation to generation for centuries. These testimonies are not just history, they are a living heritage that shapes our present and future. And at the end of this journey through the pages of antiquity, the question arises, what secrets still await discovery? What images, what ruins, what forgotten legends are still hidden in the depths of time? Today, we merely scratch the surface. Truth, like history, is a stream that continuously flows, revealing new facets and meanings. Each discovery is a brick in the foundation of national identity. And the deeper we delve, the clearer it becomes. The memory of the past is not just a stone or a drawing. It is the voice of those who lived here before us, who created this culture, who passed on sacred knowledge and values. It is up to us to hear this voice, to understand it, and to preserve it for future generations, so that these monuments and legends do not become mere dust and ashes, but remain living testimonies of the eternally young Kazakh soul. In the heart of Central Asia, where endless steppes meet the sky, lies a city whose face changes so rapidly that it seems like a living organism, breathing, growing, striving towards the future. This is Nur Sultan, the new capital, built from scratch at the dawn of a new century, in an era of change and challenges. A place where every wall, every glass facade is a testament to ambition, bold decisions, and technological drive. A city that, in a quarter of a century, has transformed from a concept into a living, pulsating metropolis, unlike any other city in the region. When you look at its horizons, symbols emerge before your eyes, the Palace of Peace and Reconciliation, rising like a crystal of glass and metal, shining in the sun, like a beacon of the era of renewal. It is not just a building. It is a temple of dialogue, uniting the diversity of cultures, traditions, and faiths. Nearby is the Kazakh Yeli Monument, a tree, enormous and mighty, rooted in the ground, but spreading its branches into the sky. Its branches symbolize the unity, history, and hopes of the Kazakh people, carried through the centuries. Here, in these stone witnesses of time, there is a sense of special energy. All the streets are living arteries, filled with the noise, the smell of fresh coffee, the aromas of roasted meat and spicy spices. People hurry, their faces reflecting aspiration, hope, and sometimes fatigue. In the air, there is a mix of new opportunities and old traditions, for this city is a bridge between the past and the future. Kazakhstan has not accidentally become the focus of the world's space industry. Baikonur, the world's first spaceport, a historical witness to the era of space exploration. Built in the middle of the last century, it became a symbol of human ambition and technological achievements. In its dark, mysterious corridors and on its launch pads remain the testimonies of past launches that forever changed the perception of human capabilities. Baikonur is not only a technological object, it is a legend that continues to live, sending satellites, astronauts, and scientific expeditions into the vast expanses of the universe. But Kazakhstan is not only about space. It is a country that has realized the necessity of change. Scientific centers, innovation hubs, startups have been launched, imbued with the spirit of adventure and exploration. Educational programs focused on new technologies attract young people from different parts of the country, transforming them into bearers of the future. In universities, technology parks, and laboratories, ideas are born that can change not only Kazakhstan, but the entire world. On the country's horizon is a strategy for the future. Kazakhstan's strategy, titled Kazakhstan 2050 Strategy, is not just a slogan. It is a challenge to destiny, a plan to transform the country into one of the 30 most developed nations in the world. An ambitious goal that requires not only investments in technology, but also wisdom, a balance between innovation and the preservation of cultural heritage. And here arises the main question. How can Kazakhstan, a country rich in traditions, with ancient legends and rituals, with its unique spiritual culture, combine the ancient with the modern? How do its cities, filled with skyscrapers and innovation centers, preserve the memory of their roots? How do modernity and history go hand in hand, creating a complex mosaic of identity? These questions encapsulate the essence of the country itself, its internal conflict, and at the same time, its strength. This is a story about balance between traditions and innovations, between heritage and progress. Kazakhstan is trying to find harmony, using the wealth of its culture as a foundation for a technological leap. In every new building and every new initiative, the echo of epochs is heard, and in every step forward there is a memory of ancestors who for centuries preserved their land, their faith, and their history. And what awaits the country in this rapid movement? What horizons open up before it? What new heights does it reach on the path to technological breakthrough? Time shows that Kazakhstan is a country unafraid of change, because its very nature is constant renewal, the search for new paths and solutions. And, in the end, all this is not only about technology, not only about buildings or space. It is about people, those who build, dream, and believe. It is about those who remember their roots, but look to the future. And in this movement, in this continuous search for balance and progress, lies the true strength of Kazakhstan, a country that, despite all challenges, continues to move forward, expanding the horizons of its possibilities, and opening new pages of its history. What new horizons await it on the path to the future? What invisible boundaries are yet to be overcome? The answer to these questions lies in every step, in every glance, in every new project, because the history of this place is a story of courage, of belief in the best, and of relentless forward movement. In the heart of Central Asia, where endless steps meet the sky, where winds sing ancient songs of the wealth and trials of the people, lies a country whose culture has absorbed thousands of years of history, trials, and legends. Here, every morning begins with the aroma of freshly brewed tea and the sense of national dishes, and every night holds the noise and light of Kazakh festivities, rituals, and traditions passed down from generation to generation. Today, we embark on a journey through this remarkable land, a country where the past and present merge into a unique blend, where traditions are not just alive, but fight for their place in a rapidly changing world. Kazakhstan is a country where spring is greeted with folk festivals filled with symbolism and history. The most significant of these is Nowruz, which is not just a day when nature awakens after a long winter. It is a celebration of renewal, unity, and hope. It is observed on the first day of spring when the sun rises over the steppes, and the sky seems filled with the light of new life. On this day, according to ancient customs, Kazakhs gather around a fire, share the ancient stories of their ancestors, sing songs, and dance, recalling the richness of their traditions. Historical and ethnographic evidence shows that Nowruz is more than just a holiday. It is a symbol of rebirth, a reminder that people, their culture, and the land are a single entity, bound by the invisible thread of time. Traditional dishes are not just food. They are living testimonies of culture, its symbols, and stories. Beshbarmak is the crown jewel of Kazakh cuisine, its name translating to 5 fingers, as it is eaten with them. In a deep bowl, tender meat cooked to softness combines with thin noodles that have absorbed the juices and aromas of ancient recipes. This delicacy symbolizes hospitality, wealth, and unity. Each bite carries the history of nomadic peoples, their struggle for survival and prosperity on the vast steppes. Kumis is fermented mare's milk, a drink long revered for its healing properties. Its taste is both slightly sour, sweet, and tart, all speaking to the connection between humans and nature. Archaeological evidence shows that kumis existed long before the advent of writing, used in ceremonial rites, symbolizing health and longevity. In Kazakh culture, kumis is not just a drink, but a ritual of hospitality, a sign of respect and trust. Bauersocks are fluffy, golden pastries fried to a crispy crust. They are served at celebrations, weddings, and gatherings with guests. Kazakh shashlik is the art of marinade and fire, tamed only by masters. Each dish holds deep meaning, a connection to nature and ancestral traditions. These dishes are not just food, but living witnesses of historical memory passed down through the ages. In Kazakh culture, the horse holds a special place as a symbol of wealth, freedom, and hospitality. Across the country's vast expanses, in the mountains and steppes, horses are not merely a means of transportation. They are sacred animals worthy of respect and reverence. They have accompanied humans since ancient times, aiding in hunting, travel, and maintaining balance in the world. Archaeological findings show that the horse is one of the oldest symbols of Kazakh identity. In traditional rituals, games, and celebrations, it occupies a central place, reminding us of the close connection between humans and nature. Kazakh weddings are grand celebrations where ancient rituals merge with modern elements. They last several days and are filled with songs, dances, rituals, and ceremonies. One of them is Basar, a special ritual where the young couple undergoes trials symbolizing their readiness for life together. In every movement, in every sound, there is a story of loyalty, love, and overcoming obstacles. Cultural traditions show that a Kazakh wedding is not only a celebration, but also a living guardian of national identity, a way to preserve connections with the past. Kazakhstan is famous for its sweets and wine-making regions. Chocolate products made according to traditional recipes are the result of long-standing traditions, crafts, and skills. The wine-making regions, located in fertile valleys, create beverages that embody the warmth of the sun and the patience of winemakers. Historical evidence shows that these crafts are an integral part of the country's cultural code, symbols of patience and skill. But the main question before us is, how do tradition and modernity coexist in Kazakh culture? Time relentlessly changes the world, and for the younger generation, this is especially evident. Young Kazakhs are the bridge between the past and the future. They learn to preserve their customs, traditional dishes, and ceremonies while opening up to the opportunities of globalization. In their eyes, there is both pride in their heritage and a desire to move forward, to create new cultural codes, to adapt the old to new conditions. Sociological studies show that it is in this balance between tradition and progress that the strength of Kazakh identity lies. And here, at this intersection, the main question arises: what helps preserve national identity in the face of endless globalization? Which rituals, dishes, and words remain sacred despite the penetration of Western trends? What is the secret that allows Kazakh culture to continue to thrive despite the pressures of time and technology? The answer lies in a delicate, almost invisible thread, in the preservation of traditional rituals, in passing them down through generations, in a special attitude towards food and celebrations. These seemingly insignificant details are the true guardians of national identity. This country is a living organism, where every tradition, every song, and every dish are testimonies, evidence that the roots are deep and strong. In the context of globalization, where everything seems easily replaceable, it is these rituals and dishes that help preserve the unique Kazakh soul, passed down from century to century. They are the bridge between eras, between the past and the future, between traditions and innovations. In this lies their strength, their eternal value, their enduring beauty. So what makes Kazakh culture so vibrant, so rich and multifaceted? Which rituals and dishes help it maintain its uniqueness in a world full of changes? The answer lies in the heart of the people, in their memory, in their cuisine, in their songs and ceremonies. In every movement, in every word, in every glance. These traditions are not just a part of history, they are a living, breathing organism that continues to renew itself while preserving its essence. And it is thanks to them that Kazakhstan remains a country where the past and the future, antiquity and modernity, are so tightly interwoven that no winds of time can sever this thread. This story is not only about traditions, It is about people for whom culture is not just words or rituals, but a living heart beating in every cell. In conditions where borders are blurring and identity is being tested, culture becomes the bridge connecting generations and reminding us that deep within every nation there is something elusive that makes it truly eternal. And in this lies true strength. In this lies its future. In the dark depths of Kazakhstan's mountains and endless steppes, there is an incredible story of survival, of the grace and strength of nature, of those rarest creatures that, like ghosts of the past, lurk in the shadows of forests and snowy peaks. This is a story of riches that not only shape the face of the country, but also cause concern for everyone who values the fragile balance of the world. Kazakhstan is a country of contrasts and wonders, where every living creature holds its secret, and every natural corner is a testament to the struggle for existence. Our story begins with the majestic Meral, the northern deer, whose grace and endurance make it one of the most vulnerable yet strong inhabitants of the mountainous landscapes. In its movements there is calmness and lightness, in its gaze the wisdom of ages. The Meral is not just an animal, it is a symbol of nature that, despite all challenges, continues to fight for its existence. Dwelling in the highlands of the Altai and Tian Shan, it must overcome harsh winter winds and slippery slopes, its antlers like tools of struggle and survival. In every leap, there is a story of boundless strength and grace, of the necessity to adapt to an ever-changing world. But Kazakhstan is not only mountain meadows and steppes. It is also the place where one of the rarest and most mysterious predators on the planet, the snow leopard, is hidden. Its silhouette is vaguely outlined in the snowy darkness, its eyes like two sparkling lights that testify to the ancient connection between man and nature. The majesty of the snow leopard is a challenge for science and conservation. History holds evidence that on the brink of extinction, this predator balances between survival and disappearance. Its evidence, rare footage captured in the mountains, reminds us of the fragility of this wondrous world. Everyone observing this secretive creature feels that before them is living proof that nature is still capable of surprising, despite the destructive consequences of human interference. In the south of the country, in the heart of Kazakhstan, lies Lake Sari-Chalek, a unique aquatic ecosystem where every drop of water holds its secrets. In this mirror reflecting the sky and mountains, dwells a rare fish known only from vague accounts, and aquatic species teetering on the brink of extinction. The water here is as clear and cold as the tears of ancient legends, and the scents are a blend of marshy earth and glacial freshness. The reflections of mountain peaks in misty morning clouds create the sensation that this place is a portal to another world, where balance and harmony reign. However, this harmony is under threat. Kazakhstan is a country where natural riches intertwine with a history of struggle for preservation, as every river, every lake is a testament to the ecosystems of the country being at risk. Kazakhstan's reserves and national parks are sanctuaries for those fighting to preserve this wealth. Altai and Katan-Karagay are not just protected areas, they are living laboratories where scientists and conservationists strive to halt destruction. In these places you can hear the whisper of the wind, the rustle of leaves, the resonant echo of birds, and the howls of wolves. Here, every plant, every animal, is a testament to ancient nature that seems to resist time and destruction. These reserves are not only refuges for rare species, but also symbols of hope. They remind us of the necessity to preserve, protect, and respect what remains. But the challenges facing Kazakhstan are not just about the struggle for individual species or territories. These are global, fundamental problems. First and foremost, the shrinking of the Aral Sea, which for centuries was a source of life for millions of people and animals. Once vast, vibrant, and full of water, today it is a dead, dried-up desert, where only traces of vanished life remain. Oblivion and ecological catastrophe, caused by human activity, have turned it into a symbol of tragedy. Environmental pollution is another blow to this fragile ecosystem. Water, air, soil, all are at risk, and every violation is a blow to the country's future, to its natural wealth, and to those who depend on it. Analysis shows that Kazakhstan is entering an era of struggle for its natural resources. The state recognizes the importance of preserving this heritage. New laws are being created, projects for the rehabilitation of natural areas are being developed, and international initiatives are being implemented. However, the fight is not just on paper. It is a daily, intense effort on the border between destruction and restoration. Every ecologist, scientist, activist is like a warrior on the front line of this struggle. Their witnesses are not only reports and statistics, but living creatures that, despite all threats, continue to exist. They are a reminder that nature is not just a resource, but a living, breathing community that demands respect and protection. At the center of this struggle is the question, which species and natural wonders can become symbols of Kazakhstan's ecological future? Which names, which images, which legends can inspire a new generation to preserve this world? Perhaps it will be the maril, graceful, resilient, and proud, like a guardian of the mountain peaks. Or the snow leopard, a silent yet relentless hunter, a symbol of strength and survival. Or Lake Seri Chelek, a mirror of the country's soul, a reminder of its fragility and the need for care. These natural symbols are not just beauties, but living testimonies that even in the most difficult conditions, hope can be found. They can become emblems of the struggle for preservation, inspiration for future generations. These species and places, these legends and testimonies, are the keys to understanding that Kazakhstan is a country at a crossroads. It faces a choice to continue destroying or to learn to live in harmony with nature, respecting its wealth and wisdom. Each of us is part of this decision. In every step, in every action, in every glance at this amazing world. Because the future of the country is not only its economy or politics, it is its nature, its heritage, its soul. And this soul is in living beings, in waters and mountains, in legends and traditions. They are testimonies and reminders that Kazakhstan is not just land. It is a living heart that beats in rhythm with nature, and it is up to us whether it retains its strength and beauty for centuries. In the heart of Eurasia, where the destinies of continents intersect, lies Kazakhstan, a country that is like an invisible bridge connecting two great civilizations, two cultures, two eras. In this space, full of contradictions and opportunities, lies the key to the future of the entire region. It is not just a country, it is a transit hub, an invisible artery that feeds economic flows, connects cities and villages, links east and west. And if you look closer, hear the whispers of history, and feel the sense of this place, it becomes clear. Kazakhstan is not just a transit point, it is a living organism, breathing, developing, fighting for its place under the sun. A country spread out in the center of the Eurasian continent, like a giant crossroads where trade routes, historical paths of nomads, and modern transport corridors intersect. This geographical position makes Kazakhstan a strategic transit hub, the key to uniting Europe and Asia. Here, in the vast steppes where the wind drives, the clouds and the horizon stretch into endless expanses, new routes and new prospects are created. The greatness of this place is not only in its geographical position, but also in how it uses its unique opportunity to become a link between great worlds. The development of transport infrastructure is the country's main priority today. Majestic highways that run through steppes and mountains, like veins nourishing the economic organism of Kazakhstan. Railways connecting capitals with remote regions are not just tracks, they are the highways of the future, along which freight trains with goods move, links in the chain connecting Europe with Asia. Airports, like the wings of a country, spread their wings, providing international connections, delivering businessmen, tourists, cargo, everything necessary for prosperity. The key routes run through the Eurasian Transport Corridor and the new Silk Road systems. These names are not just words, but symbols of a new era, new diplomacy, and a new economy. The New Silk Road is not just a trade route. It is an ambitious project aiming to return trade to historical tracks, connecting ancient paths with modern transport arteries. Kazakhstan is becoming not only a transit country, but also an active participant in this global project, turning its territory into a bridge over which goods, ideas, and cultures flow. Domestic ports and logistics centers are the heart of the country, where goods are collected and processed. They are the sacred gates through which containers, freight cars, and trucks pass, connecting Europe with Asia. Here, the hum of machinery, the smell of fuel and oil, and the rhythm of life are palpable, fast, intense, constantly moving forward. These logistics centers are evidence that Kazakhstan is transforming from a country with a rich nomadic history into a modern transport power. The country actively cooperates with international organizations, investing in infrastructure development, modernizing ports and railway hubs. This is not just investment, it is a strategic choice, a desire to become an important part of the global economic system. Analysis shows that Kazakhstan is using its geographical position to enhance economic growth, attract investments, and expand international connections. It is becoming a place where the interests of great powers meet, where agreements are made, joint projects are built, and the future is shaped. But all this raises questions. How is Kazakhstan using its unique opportunity? What challenges does the country face to exceed its own expectations? What contradictions lie behind this strategic game? In economic logic, profit; in geopolitics, balance of power; in culture, the desire to preserve its identity. In every move, every contract, every project, there is a reflection of the struggle for the future, for its role in the global system. And so, when we ask ourselves how Kazakhstan uses its position, we encounter a deeper question. What does this mean for the region, for the world? What opportunities open up for a country that is becoming an increasingly important link? What prospects await it on this path? The answer lies in the fact that Kazakhstan, like a sleeping force, is awakening to become not just a transit point, but a full-fledged participant in the global economic game. It becomes a bridge through which not only goods, but also ideas, innovations, and the future pass. This country is not just a place on the map. It is a living testament to how geography can become destiny. History holds evidence that it is at such crossroads where new eras, new alliances, and new opportunities are born. Kazakhstan is not just a transit hub. It is a challenge of time, a chance for the region and the country to become a center of new economic and cultural exchange. And the future that unfolds before it is not just a route on a map. It is a path along which people, ideas, and hopes travel. At this intersection, among the boundless steppes and high mountains, where every wind whispers legends of the past and hints at the future, Kazakhstan continues to build its destiny. It uses its geographical strength to become a link between new worlds, a bridge between civilizations. And in this lies its true purpose. In this lies its opportunity. In this lies its challenge and its hope. And all history, all evidence of the past, all efforts of the present, are merely a confirmation that something greater than just transit is being born in this place. A future is being born, which depends on how the country can connect its roots with the winds of change to become the center of a new era. Kazakhstan is a vast country where time seems to have both folded and unfolded simultaneously. It is a place that holds within it the evidence of ancient civilizations and aspirations for the future, like two poles attracting each other, creating a unique cultural bridge between eras. In every corner of this land, there is a history that still whispers its legends, and in every new project, there are ambitions that promise to change the face of all Central Asia. In this space where deserts covered with sand and sun meet the blue of high mountains and endless steppes, lives the soul of a people striving for harmony between the past and the future. Ancient traditions, like invisible threads, stretch through the centuries, connecting generations. In the steppe nomad camps and city streets, the voice of ancestors is heard, their wisdom captured in legends of Manas and Idar, in shamanic rituals and oaths that resonate in every celebration. These traditions are not just cultural decor, but a living, breathing organism that shapes national identity. The traditional yurt, adorned with bright ornaments, seems to hold the secrets of millennia of history, and the smell of kumis and the aroma of freshly baked bread fill the air, reminding of the resilience and hospitality of the Kazakh people. But Kazakhstan is not only a memory of the past, it is a country looking forward, rising to new technological heights. In the heart of Astana, a shining skyscraper symbolizes modernization, where innovative projects in space and the energy sector demonstrate the country's ambitions. In space, Kazakhstan holds a special place, for it is here, at the Baikonur Cosmodrome, that the era of spaceflights began, and today, the country continues to develop its own programs, investing effort and resources in exploring new horizons. This is evidence that Kazakhstan is not afraid to dream of a great future, that it looks up to the stars and confidently moves towards them. The cultural wealth of the country is not only in its ancient customs, but also in its vibrant modernity. Traditional celebrations like Nowruz enliven the streets with colorful costumes, songs, and dances. The cuisine offers a wealth of flavors: besh barmak, kazi, barsaks, all reminders of the rich history of nomads, their ability to live in harmony with nature and utilize its every gift. The architecture is a symbiosis of ancient motifs and modern lines, creating the image of a country that respects its heritage but is not stuck in the past. Here, on the streets of Almaty and Astana, ancient madrasas meet modern business centers, symbolizing the balance between tradition and innovation. But all this is just part of the story. Kazakhstan continues to develop without losing its identity. It builds new cities, creates innovative industries, invests in education and technology. At the same time, it preserves its customs, languages, and rituals, for these are its foundation. A country that knows the value of its history and confidently looks to the future. That is the destiny of Kazakhstan. And here, in the heart of Eurasia, a challenge is born. How does Kazakhstan differ from its neighbors? How can it stand out in this complex and multifaceted region? And what future can it build while preserving its uniqueness? Analysis shows that Kazakhstan's uniqueness is not only in its geographical location or natural resources. It is, above all, the ability to unite contradictions, turning them into strength. Traditions and progress, ancient legends and modern technologies, cultural wealth and the drive for innovation. All these are not opposites, but parts of one complex, multi-layered organism. This is its uniqueness, its potential. Historical evidence shows that the country knows how to learn, adapt, and yet not lose its soul. It has the chance to become not only a bridge between East and West, but also an example for the entire region. How does Kazakhstan differ from other countries in the region? Perhaps in its ability to listen to its past, learn from it, and yet boldly look to the future. It is like an ancient ornament woven into the fabric of modernity, where each thread is a memory and a dream. In this place, where mountains and deserts meet metropolises and space programs, lies a complex, multifaceted puzzle that is only beginning to take shape. And here we face the question, will we discover this multi-layered country, its past, present, and future? Are we ready to understand its language, the language of traditions and innovations, history and dreams? Time seems to slow down as we look into its faces, its streets, its legends. Kazakhstan is not just a place on the map. It is a living organism that continues to write its history, no matter what. It is a challenge, an invitation. And all we need is to step forward, open our eyes and hearts. Because in this space, among mountains and steppes, in its every movement and every breath, lies the opportunity to understand not only the country, but also ourselves.